All right, breaking news before you go. A person is in the hospital after a crash. This happened at Florence Boulevard and Corby Street just after 5 o'clock this morning. Dispatch telling us the victim's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening.
And more breaking news, Taiwan's defense minister is speaking out this morning. Wellington Koo says China's military expansion continues to pose a serious threat. Now, a new U.S. intelligence report found China does not currently plan to invade Taiwan next year. They are, however, continuing to develop military capabilities and contingency plans. China has made a 7% increase in its defense budget this year. Koo says Taiwan's priority is to strengthen its defenses. The country is also closely monitoring Chinese activities. Cerise.
Thank you. More top stories before you go. Happening today, Governor Pillen set to meet with those who have been on the front lines of firefighting efforts in Valentine and Gothenburg. Pillen will be in Valentine at 8 o'clock this morning and in Gothenburg at 10:15.
Omaha fire crews returning home from fighting the largest fire in Morrill County. WatchDuty.org telling us the Morrill fire is 98% contained, while the Cottonwood fire is 80% contained. A new preliminary design for a major road project now coming with a $67 million price tag. The plan would expand I-680 from 4 to 6 lanes, add an extra lane to Blair High Road, and replace the I-680 bridge over Fort.
Happening today, Omaha Mayor John Ewing will give his first State of the City address. His main goals for 2026 include addressing police staffing, ramping up economic projects, and addressing homelessness and affordable housing.
Nebraska women's basketball back in action today, hoping to extend their postseason stay. Husker is taking on Baylor this afternoon. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock.
We're wrapping up First Alert 6 with what is happening around the metro this weekend. The Omaha Supernovas host Grand Rapids tonight. First serve is at 7.
And the Omaha Lancers facing Team USA's under-17 team. Puck drops at 7:05 tonight and 6:05 tomorrow.
And the musical Disaster hits the stage at the Omaha Community Playhouse, where a 70s cruise turns from boogie fever into chaos.